So hi Shasha, so could you please introduce yourself and tell us about your role as the president of Rajenda, UiTM's Rembau Cultural Club?
Okay, hi Nana. I am Shasha, the president of Rembau's Cultural Club, or more known as Rembau Arts International Delegates, short form for Rajenda. And the role as a president is to act as someone who oversees the whole club as a whole to achieve our goal. And I act as a leader and also the liaison person between the club members and also our lecturers.
I see, that's very interesting. Alright, let's move on to the next questions. So what are your main responsibility as the president?
The main responsibility a president holds is that to act as a leader, to lead the club members into what the person think is best for the club to achieve. For example, for Rajenda itself, we are a performing arts club, so we have a lot of events and we have a lot of performance we have to handle. But I also act as a liaison person between the club members and our high committees and also our advisor, because with all these three parties is how we achieve the goal.
I see, that's a very big responsibility for you. So I'm amazed. Alright, okay, let's move on to the next one. So, in your opinion, what does conflict mean in a student organizations or a club?
Conflict always occur in clubs, especially when it's a big clubs. As you know, Rajenda is a club that consists of 4 subunits. So in each unit consists of a lot of members, and for a circle that consists of a lot of personalities, a lot of thoughts and opinions, it will occur to the point that conflict will come up. And sometimes conflict is not always bad because it creates a dimensional argument where you can finally hear another person's idea.
Oh, I see. So you actually learn something by the conflict?
Conflict is something knowledgeable.
Oh, okay. Alright. That's the first one I first heard from the interview. I've interviewed people. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's move on. So based on your experience, so what are the most common causes of conflict among the club members?
Among my club members especially, I think the most common causes are that they think their voices are not heard. So they feel like we do not comprehend their ideas. But realistically, in a situation, you have to actually listen to all parties, to all sides, to know what's best. And maybe your thoughts might be better for another idea. Not the idea that we are discussing, but an idea that we are planning on having. So we might take your idea and put it on hold, but for in that moment itself, they might think, oh, my idea was not the best. That's why it causes misunderstanding and misconception. So they think they have to put out a better idea.
I see. Alright. So you guys actually hear their voices, but they just don't know it, right? So I do understand because sometimes we have protocol, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's understandable. Alright. Let's move on. So have you ever experienced a conflict within the club? So if so, could you briefly share the situations without mentioning anyone's name? Even if it's your best friend or anyone, it could be anyone.
I think there's too much conflict that a person already faced in a club, especially when you're in the club for a while. There's a lot of situation that you can learn from, but I think majorly a lot of the conflict caused was by personal feelings, like they put we as humans use our emotion when we argue, so it tends to always cause the conflict to enlarge and to tense up. But in actual setting, in like a work setting, we should always try. I can't say that we can always do it, because we are human. We have emotions, we have our own feelings, and what we think is best. But in a work setting, we have to always endure, like, whether is it necessity, was it necessary for the idea to get caught, or is the problem really is the main major here, or was it just our emotion? So I think most conflict that I faced back then was just people, we have emotion that we put in our arguments.
I see. So if you were having a conflict with your own best friend, so what would you feel? I mean, if one of your best friends is in the club and you started arguing with something, so how do you handle it? Because he's your best friend, right? So
as a leader, I have to prioritize being one before a best friend. In a work setting, I have to be a different entity. I have to choose to be someone that is not the me beforehand. I have to know my position, and I have to know that the decision that I make is because of my position and not because of my emotion. So when you're in a club, it get really hard to differentiate those two, because you were once just friends with your members, and then slowly you gain this position that create this barrier between you guys. And you guys have to learn to create a barrier where in this setting you are your position, and in this setting you are just you and your friends.
I see. So do they understand you being like that? I'm sorry if it's a bit
no, it's not
personal.
personal. It's different for everyone. That's why I think if we human also communicate through nonverbal, right? So when you're like working with your friends, you also have to actually observe whether or not they understand where you place your position, or whether they actually acknowledge your decision. If not, that's why we have to practice open discussion and open communication. If you don't feel like that was the best decision, go on. Whether or not your position was higher than the other one, you have to listen. You have to be an active listener to actually acknowledge the problem.
Alright, okay. For me, I wouldn't be that strong. I wouldn't be that strong. So, I'm really amazed. That's all I can say. So, okay. So we'll move on. So, in your opinion, how important in communications in managing and preventing conflicts? What's your opinion on that?
My opinion is that communication is really important in management, especially because when a conflict occurred, communication is the only thing that could actually lies down everything. Because when you as an individual have to listen to actually know what the problem is, so you can know the cause of it, and from there then you can try to think of ways on how to approach the person, whether it be individually or like as a whole. Then you can choose your choice of words on how to communicate with them, like how to actually fix the problem. And whether or not the person wants to acknowledge the problem, it's honestly up to them. But if you have tried your best, they will try to understand and will try to reciprocate the feelings.
I see. Alright, okay. So I think we'll go on to the last questions. So lastly, what advice would you give to your future students, leaders, on handling conflicts effectively?
My advice would be to stay calm. We cannot do decision rushly, because at a rush of time, yes, you might think, oh my god, I can't do this, I can't do this. But actually, once you take a deep breath, there are many ways to handle this.
I see. So hashtag stay
Hashtag
calm,
stay
guys.
calm.
Stay calm. I see. Okay, that's all from me, and thank you for having me as your host. I'm really thankful for you being my interviewer. So thank you so much, Sasha.
Thank you, Nana.
And it's a great pleasure for you. Thank you. Alright, bye bye, guys.